Hello ladies and gentlemen, and today on Nick's Game Reviews I'll be looking at a game titled Mario Kart 64. Mario Kart 64 was released on February 10, 1997 and was the second in the Mario Kart series, with the previous being Super Mario Kart on the Super Nintendo. Mario Kart 64 was a game that probably made you buy a Nintendo 64 if you were a kid back in those days. If it wasn't The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, then it was GoldenEye. If it wasn't GoldenEye, it was Conker's Bad Fur Day. And if it wasn't Conker's Bad Fur Day, then it either would have been Super Mario 64 or this game, Mario Kart 64. And through the years leading up to the present day, there have been 8 Mario Kart games to date. But even though they're all good, Mario Kart 64 is my favourite. And I'll get to the reason why in a moment.
Welcome to Mario Kart!
When you start the game, you get your options. You can play single player or multiplayer if you have more than one controller. When you play single player, you will have 50C, 100C, then finally 150C, which are the difficulty levels. 50C is for if you just want to have fun but is the easiest, need very little skill. 100C will result in gamer frustration as the AI seems to always take over your ass. And 150C will most likely result in gamer rage. After all that, you pick a character, which is 1 out of 8 total, then you pick a cup to race for. If you're usually used to Gran Turismo, then you might need to reshape your racing tactics for this game. Sure, you can get from last place to first place easily, but it all comes down to using the tricks and the power-ups the game offers. There are a total of 14 power-ups which you can obtain via the question box you drive into during the race. You can also drift, and if you tilt left and right on the analog stick a couple of times, you can get a speed boost. The reason why Mario Kart 64 is my favourite was it doesn't have too much bullshit like the newer games. Whatever character you chose, they had their own specific card designated to them. But this isn't a game where the cards have their own attributes, but the characters themselves. Characters like Toad and Luigi are quicker characters, similar to how Bowser or Wario are the heavy types and can knock other players around. In conclusion, this is a game anyone can pick up and enjoy it regardless of preference. If you don't like realistic racing games, but you like arcade style ones, then this game will definitely be one of your favourites.
Mario Grand Prix!
The AI is pretty decent for what it is in a racing game, but that's about it. On 50cc you will race past the AI without trouble. On 100 the AI packs a punch and you have to combine both the racing skills and power-ups in order to win. On 150cc your face will turn bright red, all while shouting at Toad, calling him an arsehole. Because you know, Toad is like the quickest character in the game. Anyone who uses Toad is an asshole. So don't be a Toad bitch. Bitch. But I digress. While the game is difficult to an extent, it is by no means impossible. You just need to be very skilled. So if you're not that skilled, then 100%ing this game will quite literally piss you off.
Option!
The graphics are not bad. The ground and some parts of the background are fully 3D rendered, but the characters are 3D sprites, if you know what I mean. So it's alright, but this game doesn't fully utilise the 64-bit hardware, so if you compare this to a game like Diddy Kong Racing, the difference is bloody amazing. In Diddy Kong Racing is a much larger game as well. Some things in this game look like someone at Nintendo HQ just opened up Photoshop and drew some pretty basic crap, like the clouds. Honestly, anyone can do that, even I can. Like, watch this. I just don't understand. Don't understand at all. If they dedicated more time to the project, then they could have made the difficulty more appropriate, add more characters, add more courses, and last but not least, fix the graphics. But they didn't. That's why this game falls a bit short on being the best racing game ever. However, if you care more on the gameplay and music side of things, Mario Kart 64 will rarely disappoint, which is where my money is at.
Yeah!
How do I explain the controls? Well, you got your basic accelerator, which is mapped to the A button, B is for brakes, right trigger drifts, start of course pauses and is the confirmation button, Z trigger launches your power up, and the C buttons are used for changing music volume and changing the layout of the HUD. Long story short, it works fairly well. And I've had no problems with the controls ever. Even when I was younger, I mastered the controls pretty easily. I do consider myself a very good player at this game. Don't mean to brag, but it's true. So if you were worried about the controls of this game, rest easy. The controls are easy to use and work well for Mario Kart 64.
Select your player!
The soundtrack is pretty basic, but all things considered, each track that plays fill their particular role as you race. You get thrill and excitement, bewilderment and mystery, magic and happiness, and a list of other tracks that mainly make Mario Kart 64 what it is. There isn't anything too stupid in the same way there isn't a song in the game that's below average. But like I said before, if the guys back at Nintendo expanded on this game, they could have also added in more songs. However, as the music stands, it is what it is. Each race course is great with a soundtrack to match, well thought and planned out, with lots of eye candy as well. But there are a few courses known as the shitty courses. I hate Yoshi's Valley, so much goddamn pits, but I also have a favourite course, which is the race track you're looking at now, Rainbow Road. It may be extremely long, taking more than 6 minutes, but I don't care, it's magical and this really shows that people back in Nintendo could create some pretty neat tricks with the visual effects. You see Mario, Donkey Kong, Toad, and various other Mario Kart characters in the distance with neon light effects. Overall, the courses are designed in such a way that they've either planted shortcuts or just made a straight road with a type of theme in mind, like a jungle or a desert theme. I conclude that the design is really neat and sums up what kind of racing game Mario Kart 64 is.
See you next time!
In conclusion, Mario Kart 64 is a well-polished racing game that deserves your time, great for casual gamers as well as professional gamers. You can get this on an emulator if you so choose, or you can get it legit on a Nintendo 64. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I give Mario Kart 64 a much deserved 8.9 out of 10. It does have some flaws, but this game is mainly for everyone. So, thank you for watching. If you want to like or subscribe, and enjoy the rest of your day.